Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a universe-altering perspective that's hidden right inside one ancient text. Now, let's just face it, right? Present suffering, it's a universal human problem. We all experience pain, loss, hardship, the whole shebang. But what if the ancient text we're looking at today doesn't just offer us, a basic coping mechanism, but a promise that literally flips our entire understanding of reality completely upside down?
Take a look at this. In Romans chapter 8, verse 18 from the King James Version, the author, Paul, makes this incredibly audacious claim. He isn't just saying that human suffering is eventually going to end. He's actually making this profound mathematical calculation. He says that all the struggles, the pain, the sufferings of this present time, they aren't even worthy of being placed on the exact same scale as what's coming. They're going to be entirely, completely eclipsed by something unimaginably greater.
But I really want to draw your attention to a super specific linguistic choice in this verse. Notice how the text says the glory will be revealed in us. So why on earth did the translators back in 1611 choose the word in instead of to? Well, as you'll see today from our source material, this tiny two-letter preposition changes absolutely everything about human destiny.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Section 1, the power of one word. To really solve this linguistic mystery, we need to zoom all the way down to the original Greek language to see exactly what Paul was communicating to his readers. The original Greek phrase used here is eis hemos. Now, eis is a preposition that usually means into, toward, or unto. Basically, it implies movement into a person or a sphere. It's so much stronger, so much more deeply ingrained than just a simple directional to. The translators totally recognize that Paul's thought here was massive. This glory isn't just some object being placed in front of believers to just kind of look at.
There is actually a massive theological difference between these two concepts. Think about it. If glory is revealed to us, we're just spectators. Imagine standing in front of a king, right? You see his royal glory, you admire it, you're taking in that external information, but it doesn't actually change who you are. But if glory is revealed in us, oh man, we are active participants. The glory isn't just observed, it's imparted. Our very nature is changed from the inside out.
And that brings us to another fascinating Greek word in the text, apocalypto, which is translated as revealed. It literally means to unveil, uncover, or remove the covering from something that was actually already there. It's kind of like a master sculptor, slowly chipping away at a rough block of marble. God has been shaping and working internally all along. This unveiling isn't creating something brand new right on the spot. Actually, it's finally revealing the finished masterpiece that was hidden right there beneath the surface.
Which brings us to Section 2, defining divine glory. So the next logical question is, what exactly is this glory that's being chipped away and revealed inside of us? Well, let's start with the ancient Hebrew root for glory, which is kavod. Kavod means weight, substance, honor, or manifest presence. So glory in the biblical sense isn't just about, a bright, shiny light or some glowing halo. Not at all. It is the heavy, substantial, visible expression of God's reality. It has real weight and just immense significance.
And the Greek equivalent used in our text is doxa, meaning radiance, magnificence, and divine splendor. Paul actually uses this specific word pretty frequently to describe the final, perfected, and transformed state of redeemed humanity. The goal isn't just a change of location like, just going to a glorious place, but a complete transformation to actually share in the likeness and life of Christ.
We also really need to understand the cultural backdrop here. Paul's audience lived in this Roman world that was completely obsessed with visible greatness, status, and power. Yet, the early Christians? They were often poor, marginalized, and fiercely persecuted. Our sources point out how beautifully countercultural this concept of glory really was. God completely overturns the Roman value system. Instead of glorifying worldly power, God takes the weak, the crucified, and the suffering, and literally makes them the ultimate public display of divine honor.
And this brilliantly illustrates Section 3, 3 stages of transformation.
Because this glory doesn't just magically appear out of thin air at the end of time. According to the text, it happens in a very specific 3-part sequence. Let's look at how this timeline unfolds. First up, we have the present stage. God's life is already present internally, kind of like a seed, through the indwelling Spirit. Second is the progressive stage. This is the furnace of sanctification, where suffering and trials are actively stripping away the old self to mature that inner seed.
And finally, the future stage, the resurrection of the body, where what was quietly forming within is publicly unveiled for absolutely everyone to see. Our sources draw a truly stunning parallel here. Remember when Moses came down from Mount Sinai? His face shone brilliantly from being in God's presence, but that radiance was only temporary. Paul contrasts that in 2 Corinthians with the permanent transformation of believers. He basically describes believers as mirrors. By beholding the Lord, they're permanently transformed into the exact same image, moving from glory to glory. It's this permanent inward change that eventually radiates outward. Let's move on and see how this builds in section 4. Creation is waiting. We're going to zoom all the way out now from the individual believer to the macro-cosmic scale of the universe itself. Paul writes that all of creation is waiting for this revealing, and he uses this wonderfully vivid word, apokoradodokia. It literally means stretching the head forward or craning the neck in eager anticipation. It paints this almost comical yet super profound picture of the entire created universe literally standing on tiptoe, straining its neck, desperately waiting to catch just a glimpse of God's transformed children finally being unveiled.
So why exactly is the universe on tiptoe? Well, it's because of the mechanics of a great cosmic reversal. See, when humanity fell in the beginning, creation fell under the curse right alongside them. Therefore, humanity's internal transformation and final glorification is the exact specific signal that the curse on all of creation is finally ending. The entire liberation of the universe hinges on the revealing of glory in humanity.
The sources also highlight a really profound perspective on this, known as the Great Controversy theme. It's an Adventist insight that gives this phrase massive cosmic significance. It suggests that throughout history, there have been accusations against God's government and his ability to restore fallen beings. In this view, the redeemed become living, breathing evidence, right before angels and unfallen worlds, that God's grace truly can restore what sin destroyed. Their transformed lives literally vindicate God's character before the entire watching universe.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Becoming the Reflection. Now let's bring all these massive cosmic implications right back home to you and the gritty reality of our daily present struggles. The absolutely crucial point is this. This perspective changes exactly how we interpret pain. Your trials, your disappointments, your hardships, they aren't just meaningless interruptions to your life. They are actually the very furnace actively shaping, maturing, and preparing that hidden life of Christ within you. Affliction is quite literally doing the work of producing glory. And as you go through that furnace, keep this powerful metaphor in mind. The moon has absolutely no light of its own, right? It's just dark rock. But on a clear night, it shines brilliantly, simply by reflecting the sun. In the exact same way, we don't manufacture or generate our own glory. That's not the goal at all. We are simply being transformed so that we can perfectly reveal and reflect the one who is dwelling within us. Which leaves us with this final thought for today. God isn't just preparing a glorious destination for you. He's actually preparing a glorious you. So if God's ultimate goal is to reveal his glory in you, if the whole universe is on tiptoe waiting to see it, what is shining out of you today? Are your daily words, your reactions, your patience, and your love acting as early rays of that future glory? It is definitely something for all of us to deeply reflect on. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep looking forward to the unveiling.